Hi, I'm Chuck with Fish Fighter Products. As you can see, we're inside my shop. It's the middle of winter here in Idaho. Everything's froze up, so we can't get outside and do any filming, but we're so excited to bring you all of these new products and share them with you that we just had to do it somewhere, so we decided to do it right here in the shop. You know, when I show you these rod risers, it's really a re-release of a product that we've been building. So we've been building rod risers now for a couple years, and we really thought it was time to take another hard look at them. So Austin Moser, Cody Herman have been using them for a little over a year now, and we sat down with them and really talked to them about some of the changes that they thought we should make to these. And I want to go through some of the upgrades that we've done for 2019 model. And what we've done is we've made all of our rod risers now out of a thicker 3/8 aluminum. We powder coat it, and then we machine them. Gives them a real nice look. As you can see, we've engraved the American flag on it. We're really proud to say these are built right here in the United States by us. But one of the features that we're really the most proud of is our quick release system, and we really improved the locking mechanism and switched to a complete stainless steel lock. We also went to a lock mechanism that's real visible to see, so you can easily see when it's engaged. What's really neat about these is if you want to, let's say you're netting a fish, you want to move a rod out of the way, you just turn this and lift it out of the way. If you want to interchange one with another, it's very easy. Whoops. You know, you can just swap rod risers back and forth. It's really that quick just to move rods all around your boat. I'm going to go ahead and put these back, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the decision as to why we made some of these the way we did. So we'll start off with our 24-inch one, our big daddy here, and a lot of guides were talking to us and asking to make a 24-inch rod riser so that they could get their rod out over the top of the kicker motor on the back of their boat. So that's really the intent of this one, although you can use it anywhere you want on the boat. But you can see we have 4 different heights right here, so you can vary your rod heights from the front of the boat to the back if you want. We designed this little 4-inch one right here because the theory was, you know, with most rail sliders, it's very hard to move rod holders around, and with this, it's real easy to just lift your rod holder off when you're coming in at night. You can throw these in a box and lock them. It's very easy to move them around, and we really think this is going to be a really popular height for most people. Now you can see this one here brings your rod holder out to about the middle of the gunnel, gives you some elevation. This one here goes out just a little bit further, and then this one goes out about 16 inches, and this has been our #1 selling rod riser. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more as we move these out of the way so we can really get more in depth. Okay, now we're going to talk about the features and benefits and get a little more in depth on our rod risers, or our quick release rod risers. So one of the things that we wanted to do was to make these easy to move around on the boat. So we have our quick release base, so you can see it's very easy to, you know, to move a rod riser back and forth. Some of the other brands out there use a thumb screw to tighten them down, and the problem with that, we found, is that either somebody over tightened the screw or somebody forgot to tighten the screw and you're traveling and the rod riser falls out. Or let's say you're fighting a fish, and I'm going to go ahead and move this rod riser out of the way to talk. And you're fighting a fish and it's coming down the rail, and this is in your way. You can just quickly lift it and get it out of the way. Then when it's time to go back to fishing, you just put it back in, lock it, and now it's locked. It's not going to go anywhere. Another thing to point out on these, I'm going to go ahead and move this guy over here, is that we designed these to work with the Canon rod holder. They also fit the Scotty rod holder. It'll work with the Cabela's brand, the Fish On, just about anything out there seems to fit this bolt pattern. We also include stainless steel bolts and nuts, so when you get your rod, rod holder, you can just bolt it right on here. We don't want you to have to go down to the hardware store to look for stuff. Another thing that we did is we made a decision to only offer these in powder coated black, and we machined this out. And the reason we're doing that is we want this thing to look good for years to come. And if you just use natural aluminum, there's a point where it's going to start corroding and not looking as nice. And we're really serious about the Fish Fighter brand being a product that could last for generations and generations. I'm actually going to go ahead and set this guy out of the way and talk a little bit about this particular rod riser. Now, this is our #1 seller right here, and what's really neat about it is not only does it get your rod out, so I'm going to go ahead and put this rod in it. When you're trolling and you want to get your rig or your rods out as wide as possible, by doing this, you're in a sense just making your boat about a foot wider. You're getting this rod out farther on the edge of the boat. So a typical trolling scenario for salmon, if you're running 6 rods, would be to have the front 2 rods at 9 to 10 foot long and have them in these rod holders. And then as you come back, you would move narrower and narrower, and then you're kind of bringing your spread in. The big reason I developed this one in the beginning was because I wanted to make the boat, I got tired of the rod butts being in the way. So if you run a regular rod holder, when a person's sitting in this chair, you got the rod butt sticking out right here, so it's always in the way. When you move to this style, you can move the rod out, and now you've got this clearance in here, and it's something that I really like. There is an also concern, when we first came out with these, we felt it was very important that we offer this optional support leg that goes out here. And you can just put that there. We have 2 pre-drilled holes, so you can just bolt this on. Now, under most fishing scenarios, as you can see, I've got a real nice salmon rod on here. There's not much bow in it. The mount doesn't flex, but what happens is there's rubber right here on the rail, so it tends to flex a little bit. So we wanted to offer this as an option if there's some of you that are trolling, or not maybe trolling, but sturgeon fishing, or you're offshore fishing and you've got a big oversized rod hanging out over the side of the boat, you can bolt on this support leg. So that's a feature we're pretty proud of. We also offer that support leg for this real tall rod riser here. I'll go ahead and stick it in, and as you can see, this will bolt on here just to help take the load off of your gunnel if you want it. Most scenarios, salmon fishing, trout fishing, kokanee fishing, you won't need any of them supports. And you really don't on the bigger fish either. It's just, it kind of just takes some of this movement out of it. So a few more things that I want to talk about are some of the attachments that we've developed for our Kwik mounts. And before we get into that, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's included. So when you order your quick release rod riser, it comes with the rod riser as well as a quick release base. And they come in a package with all the hardware you need to bolt it to your rod riser, or excuse me, your gunnel slider. You can also directly bolt this to any flat surface. You don't have to have a rod riser. Just bolt it on and this will come in and out. Really, you can get creative and mount them anywhere you want. But the original intent is that you would bolt it directly to whatever type of slider you have on your gunnel rail. Okay, now I want to talk about some of the quick release accessories that we come up with. So they fit into the quick release base, so you can just remove your rod riser like we've done right here, and you can start bolting on accessories or quick releasing on some accessories. So the first one I want to talk about is our fillet table, and we're quite proud of this. We offer it in 2 versions. This is the big version. This is great for salmon. And then we offer a smaller version as well for the trout, kokanee, and crappie fishermen and whatnot. But what's real neat about this is it's real easy to install. You just fold out the quick release mounts, turn around, line up your quick release bases, and now you got your fillet table. But it's not only a fillet table, it's also a great workbench if you want to tie some terminal tackle. You've got a nice work area if you want to put a barbecue grill up. It also works great for you know, preparing bait or anything. It's really useful. But its intended purpose was mainly for filleting fish, and we designed this thing to hold the fillet away fish mats. So this particular model holds 2 of the fillet away fish mats. We also did a fold-up backstop. One of our regional staffers, Jacob Munden, really wanted to see us build a taller backstop on it so the fish don't fall off the back when you're filleting them. So it works out really nice. And again, it has tons of uses, but the thing that we're the most proud of is how easy it is to take down at the end of the day. Just remove it, fold down the bases, and it's done and out of the way. Now I want to talk to you about a few more quick release adapters that we've made. This one's pretty cool. So this is kind of a universal adapter, and it just fits in here. And we put all these holes in it so that you could bolt different things on it. You know, if you want to bolt on your, reach out of the shot here, if you want to bolt on your bait tray, you can bolt that on here. You can really bolt just about anything you want. Here's something that I did on my boat. So I run a bimini top on occasion, you know, when it's in July and August out here and it's really hot. So I went ahead and mounted my bimini top mounts to it. So when I put my bimini top on, I can just quick pin it and mount my bimini. But what's really neat about it is if the sun changes, I can just slide my bimini top forward on the boat, or I can bring my bimini top back. So that's kind of cool. Another thing we did with these bolt pattern here is that you can use it to bolt on your Relentless series tray, the ones that we make here at Fish Fighter. And as you can see, I got this adapter bolted on here. So you can just drop it into the quick release base and you've got that tray. Well, I know I've kind of went on, and I really hope you find this video informative and educational. We're so proud of these quick release rod risers. We wanted to work hard so that you fully understood how they work and why they work. And thanks again for spending some time with us today, and I hope to see you out on the water.